Hey all, Marty here, and today I'm going to show you how to share an app from the App Store to others if that is something you want to do. For example, have you ever been looking for an app and you finally come across it and you go, hey, this is really cool and I want to share this with a friend? So I'm going to tell you how to do it. So you open up the App Store. You go to the search box, and for this example, let's say you're searching for eye accessibility. So you type that in the search box, eye accessibility, the app will come up. Once you're there, then what you want to do is do a single finger swipe to the right until you hear the share button. You do a single finger double click on the share button, and then you're going to have all the options there to share that app. So you can text message it, email it, all the things. You get a full share sheet that comes up that allows you to share that app. And that is how you share an app from the App Store. Enjoy.
Would you like to tame App Chaos? I know things can be quite chaotic when you have 150 apps and maybe they're not in folders and they're all over the place. I'm kind of a folder nerd. I only have 2 home screen pages on both of my phones, my iPhone 15 Pro and my Android Z Flip 5. I'd like to show you some tips and tricks for taming App Chaos. I think I've gone over before how to create folders on these devices, but there are some really cool ways to keep track of and/or search for an app that you wonder if it's gone missing. Is it in iCloud or is it put in deep sleep on Android? How just, to keep those apps under control. So first, I'm on my Android phone here.
Home screen settings.
And I went to that home screen settings. So I wanted to show you a couple of really cool ways to get things under control on your home screen.
Search button.
There's our search button.
Home screen layout. Home and apps screens 1 of 14. In home screen grid 4x5 2 of 14.
You can control the grid and the size of the grid. How many across, how many down. Here are some options.
App screen grid 4x6 3 of 14. Folder grid 4x4 4 of 14. Add media page to home screen Google Discover 5 of 14.
Okay, so after those grid options, and it doesn't tell me which one I've selected, I think I have 4x5 actually on my screen. And then there's a Google/media icon that I have turned off.
Add media page to home screen switch off.
It just takes up an extra slot that I don't really care about.
Show app screen button on home screen switch on 6 of 14.
This is really great. This is showing the apps button on your home screen. So it will likely appear in the bottom right corner. And so if you want to bring up a list of your apps and they are neatly in alphabetical order, that is a really, really great option. So I'm going to show you how that works.
Home button. One UI home. Error Explorer in Pager.
Okay. Now I'm on the first screen of my home page.
Apps out of Pager.
And there's my apps button in my bottom right corner. So I'm going to double tap that.
App screen page 1 of 5. More options button.
And you hear that I have 5 pages of apps. That doesn't refer to my home screen. It refers to the fact that it will take 5 screens to give me the listing of all of my apps. And they are in alphabetical order. So if I touch near the top.
Microsoft folder, Samsung folder.
Oh, I forgot. Folders are at the top. Okay, that's pretty handy because a lot of times I know, oh yeah, that's in the Samsung folder.
T-Mobile folder, utilities folder, a calendar.
Okay, there we go. There is my alphabetical listing.
Adobe Acrobat. Error Explorer.
Okay.
Amazon Alexa.
Great. So you get the idea. And there are the little page icons near the bottom of the screen, page 1, page 2, that sort of thing. Now we're going to move to iPhone. And I remember when we didn't have the library screen. And so you just kind of were at the mercy of your own organizational tactics. With my iPhone, I have everything in folders. And like I say, I have 2 screens. Also, another tip that I use is that I put apps that I often use in the corners or along the sides so I can easily get to them. That's another trick if I don't want to put the app in a folder. I'm going to swipe left with 3 fingers when I'm on page 2 of my home screen.
Showing app library, search field.
And immediately I'm put into a search field. So if I want to do a search for apps that I want to locate, I would double tap here.
Search field is editing, app library, insertion point at start.
And I'm going to search just typing in AA.
Camp A.
And then on the screen,
Amazon Alexa, Amazon Music, Kindle, Amazon Photos, photo and video.
okay, are all the related apps having to do with Amazon, not just having Amazon in the name, but the Amazon related apps. So I can then double tap on any one of those and go to it. Now I'm going to cancel this search.
Kindle, Amazon, cancel button.
After the search button, there are some suggestions.
Just press record. Weather. Recently added, epidemic sound.
Okay, so after the suggestions, probably my commonly used apps or ones that I visited recently, there is the recently added, and I have recently added the app called Epidemic Sound, which is a sound effects and music subscription, royalty-free music service, and it also has an app.
Crate and Barrel, recently updated. Natura Space. Recently added folder, 9 apps. Productivity and finance, mail, no unread emails.
So you notice that there are now the particular folders. They aren't organized in any way that I can really see, just Apple's decision on what they will call the folder and what apps are in it.
Good budget. Bank of America. Productivity and finance folder, 47 apps.
Okay, so you hear individual apps sometimes, then you hear the actual folder.
Information and reading, Castro.
So there's my Castro app. So what it tends to do is to put apps that it thinks you might be interested in, and then it will name the folder that those came from, and you could double tap on either the app to open it, or you could double tap on the folder to find and figure out what apps are stored in there. So this is the app library. I feel like I would rather have an alphabetical listing of the apps, but I also appreciate the fact that there is a search box where I can type in just a few letters of the app name, and then I can find the apps that contain that name or those letters, or related apps, as in the case of Amazon. So those who are app happy and download a lot of apps, there's a way to tame the chaos. Put the apps in folders. You can find them if you wonder where you stowed them. And both systems, Apple and Android, have different ways of handling them, but they are very helpful, and I hope you found this tip helpful as well.
So I'm going to show you how with the Vocaster to record your voice on one track and Jaws' voice on another. We'll start in a new Reaper project. If you hit your down arrow, you'll hear press Ctrl T. I'm going to call this Michael and hit enter. Press Ctrl T again. And we'll call this Jaws and hit enter. So now we need to set the inputs for each track. So we'll go up to 1 Michael, Shift F10. I hit I for input. Open this menu with right arrow. And we want host. So we'll hit H and that'll automatically activate that menu option. So now if we up arrow, it says 1 Michael. If I arm this track, check, and we'll unarm it. So what we want to do is we want to listen to the monitoring from the Vocaster. So tap F8 twice. Now I'm going to down arrow, and we need to set the input for Jaws. So I'll hit Shift F10. In this case, I'm going to tap I and then down arrow. We'll tap right arrow. And then I'm going to go up to loop back to LR and we'll hit enter. Now I'm going to down arrow here. If I hit F7 and arm that track, you likely will hear 2 of Jaws. Hit F8 twice until you hear it say record monitor off. And then go to your Jaws menu if using laptop, Control Shift Caps Lock J and tap the letter U for utilities, O for sound card, and then pick Vocaster 2 LR. Tap the letter R to start recording in Reaper, and you should then be capturing Jaws on one track and your voice on another. The reason my Reaper The reason my messages from JAWS were repeated each time it said something in Reaper is because I'm not using Jim Snowberger's scripts for JAWS right now. I need to go install those, highly recommend them. One other thing to do is go to your system tray, locate the Vocaster hub, because you want to have installed that when you're using the Vocaster. Go to exposed channels, and I checked loopback to LR and Vocaster out LR. And so that should match the settings that I currently have. And then go to, one last thing, go into the Reaper preferences, go down to devices, change the device driver from Windows to ACO, or from whatever it is to ACO, and then pick the Vocaster 1 or 2, and then go in and choose the minimum input channel and the maximum output channels, or maximum input and minimum input, as well as maximum output and minimum output. Choose the apply and then choose OK. And I just do all the channels, and then that'll expose everything for you.